Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is able to hear me and everyone is able to see my screen. If possible, can someone please confirm if you are able to hear me clearly and able to see my screen? Guys, is it okay?
Yes,
I
yes,
hope,
sure.
yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, just like we discussed, we'll write the notes in the last two sessions, whatever we discussed here, okay? So that it is going to recap everything, okay? So the first pattern we are talking is about a decomposition pattern, right guys? So the first pattern is on decomposition pattern. So what exactly a decomposition pattern is? Decomposition pattern is nothing but typically dividing the monolithic application into smaller units, right sir? Decomposing the monolithic application into smaller units. Monolith application into smaller chunks or divisions, okay, where each and every unit or each and every chunk represents an independent business functionality, where each and every chunk should represent an independent business functionality, and this functionality should be unique and autonomous or independent or autonomous. We should not have any dependency on these divisions, and slowly we will apply on these chunks subdomain wise also. Slowly will apply subdomain pattern also. Slowly will apply subdomain pattern also on these chunks, which results an individual business functionality which can be converted into microservice, which can be converted into microservice. Am I right? So which can be converted into microservice here. Yeah, I think there is a gap. We'll see the right. Why this is entire things are going. Can't I move only this section? Okay, forget about it. Next. When we divide the application by subdomain wise, when we divide the application by subdomain wise, we should consider the following one second guys. criteria on applying. We divide the application by subdomain. We should consider the following criteria just to ensure all the criteria, just to ensure that all the characteristics, all the principles we are going to achieve with microservices. We are going to achieve with microservices. So we are going to see that. What is the first principle, guys? Here, principle wise, software. Yeah,
business capability.
correct. I mean, business capability, just like it's independent, right? We no need to write that much, right? Business capability is just like we divide the application into smaller chunks where each and every chunk represents an independent business functionality. So that's sufficient here, right? So just like my intention was not to give a heavy notes on this particular pattern. Business capability means what? Just dividing the application into independent units, that's it. But in a subdomain wise, we have some points, right? We need to apply software point of view, hardware point of view, implementation point of view, revenue point of view, right? Those things, okay? Yeah. In a software perspective, we should make sure that all the common functionality, common code functionality for a service we should make sure that all the common code functionality for a service should be aligned in one unit. All should be aligned in one unit. And if there is a change in this common code, which should not impact any other functionalities, right? That is the first perspective. Second perspective, hardware perspective. When we analyze any business feature, we should also we should think in hardware perspective also, which is used in real time, like ATM machine for withdraw and deposit service. Since a failure in ATM machine, which results a failure in savings account, current account, also joint account. So that is a point here. Output of, we should combine all the software functionalities which are depend on this hardware. we should add into one single unit. Right, sir? There's a point here where you can understand here. Next. Now we are going to write third one. Business and revenue. So after applying software as well as hardware, business and revenue, right? So business functionality, driven by the business, driven by the business, driven by the marketing. Business functionality, separate business functionality, driven by the marketing team, and analyze in the business point of view. Like joint account creation and savings account creation. Even though from software point of view, both looks same on creation functionality, but from business point of view, it's different. Nutshell, we can think of one microservice can be designed after applying business capability, business, comma, subdomain with software, hardware, and business. In Spring Boot, every Spring Boot application, every application which has @ Spring Boot application can be referred as microservice. Can be referred as microservice. So this is a small notes where just I want to make sure that everyone is just I already explained this. Just I want to give this notes for everyone. So where we are going to cover maximum portion here. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to write here this one.
So this decomposition pattern is the name of the pattern, right, sir?
Yes, it's a name of the design pattern. The pattern name itself is a decomposition design pattern.
Right.
So what is that actually?
Are there any common patterns between the microservices and the Java JT patterns, sir, that we usually study?
Generally, sir, Java design patterns are they are first one. First, we need to apply on designing any system. By default, on designing any system, Java design patterns they are common. Okay.
Right.
After applying them, then these things will come into picture. So I can say that to answer your question, Okay. First Java design patterns, then microservices design patterns.
Right.
Something like that. Okay.
Like abstract on top of that.
Yes, exactly. An abstraction on top of that. Correct.
Sir,
Yeah.
decomposition design pattern, which will be on top of which Java design pattern?
There is no Java design pattern related to decomposition functionality. There is no Java design pattern. What is a decomposition? We need to divide. That's it. So architectural point of view, we are going to divide on a modular point of view. Previously, modular point of view. What is a modular point of view? If one module is having a change, other module should not be impacted. There is no principle, or we can say that loosely coupled architecture. It doesn't have any major principles, but loosely coupled architecture. What is that actually we decomposed? Front end, middleware, back end, data access, right? If I have a change in front end, back end should not be impacted. If I have a change in back end, front end should not be impacted. So we don't have any separate design pattern on decomposition point of view. Just like we used a word loosely coupled. You divide on your own. Okay. But after dividing, one division should not impacted by other division. That's it. That's the only one common thumb rule. It's not a principle. It's a easy of development effect actually. That's why we cannot say any design pattern in Java or in other programming language related to decomposition functionality. In microservices we have. The reason is, okay, if we divide properly, then only we can achieve a good design in the business and where we can achieve good results. That's the point here. Only decomposition pattern is mostly useful in microservices world. Do you agree my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, sir, after that we are going to see here. Any other question? Can we go to the next design patterns? Triangular.
Sir, my question is like there are like common things like data sources and sometimes all applications consume same MDB queue and there are some common things, right? How do we accommodate those type of things if they are common? We decompose them into separate microservices.
By default, common. That's what I mentioned here, right? All common things should be added into single unit. We should make
but
sure
it
that
will be duplicated, right, sir? If it will not it be duplicated in all microservices separately?
by default,
Sometimes
sir.
people, sometimes people say no duplicate code, right? You know, how do
Correct.
we bring balance between duplicate and separate?
We should think common code. For example, database connection. That is what you are thinking a common code. That's what one of the example you mentioned, right? Okay.
Yeah, database MDBs,
Yeah.
you know, message driven things, right?
Correct.
Kafka.
I mean, MDBs. I mean, yeah, we'll see that. Okay. By default, sir. Okay. If you take database connection, okay. Now, always we should not be thinking that our entire application is using only one database. Only one database. I told in Airtel application, okay. For example, assuming that 10 lines of code you have in connecting to database, in getting a driver manager get connection, session object, session factory object, whatever it may be. There are some 10 lines of code are there. Okay. Now lot of people will get confused. Sir, I have 10 microservices. Assuming that these 10 are using same database, do I need to write the 10 lines of statement in 10 microservices, is it common code, right? Again, we are violating the principle of common code point of view. Same code is written in 10 microservices. So that is a point everyone will confuse, and it's a debatable point. Okay. But what microservices are thinking, I don't know whether it's a common code or independent code or whatever it may be. In future, this service, we can change the technology also, or we can change the database also. Okay. Just like I mentioned here, okay, where billing generation, one service I can take in Airtel. I told this example, right, guys? Billing generation. They wrote a Java code. Okay. And they see that the performance is drastically very slow. Now they moved this entire functionality into mainframe system, where they are very popular in billing generation on that particular area. They are very experts. Inventory. If we keep that inventory in Oracle database, and when 10 millions of, 100 millions of inventory is there, database is very slow. Then they move to SAP functionality. So at any point of time, we cannot think that database is common for all the application. Database will differ. In that sense, where we cannot consider that as a common code. Okay. Next one is you told Kafka and RabbitMQ and MD, you mean message driven beans, right? So correct. By default, just like our today's, we'll discuss in event driven architecture also, we are not writing a code for initializing the Kafka factory, AMQP factory, IBM factory. We'll write that in a pom.xml, and by default framework has a capability to load that particular interface into our application. We are not going to write heavy code. Just we will write 1 line or 2 lines code, where with the messages, whatever the properties I wrote in property file, like username, password, and port number, automatically we are not writing any boilerplate code in getting a factory object. Do you agree where I'm going here? You are not writing any code here. For example, you have 5 microservices. Okay, sir? You have 5 microservices. Okay. Now, how will you connect actually? You need to push the data to the queue only. Right? 5 microservices, how you will communicate? You'll keep a queue between these 5. And the queue wherever you're writing, in that queue, microservice only you will initialize. But in other 5 microservices, you will only take the interface. You don't write any infrastructure related to queue. Only the microservices where you are listening. In that microservice only you'll write the entire code. So you only initialize the interface and get the interface. Queue interface only will get it. So you don't have any common code in those areas. Okay. And some other common code. Maybe just like one common example, one more example I can take. Sir, in every microservice, the output is, we'll get some output, and we want to convert into a PDF or a JSON or XML. This functionality is there in my application. I have a functionality. Okay, sir. What is that functionality? The output or the final result. Service 1 result, service 2 result, service 3 result, service 4 result, 10 services result. Functionality is same. Either we can convert into PDF, either we convert into XML, or we convert into JSON. Do I need to write the code in all microservices? No. We will create a microservice which converts the code into PDF. We will create the microservice which convert the convert into JSON. We'll create a microservice which will convert the code into PDF. And we call that microservice. Microservices to microservice communication is there, right? The code will be in the common place. And we use microservices communication. One microservice can call other microservice, right? In that perspective, we don't need to have a common code. Okay, so generally interviewers are going to confuse us. Common code, common code, common code. So we should not take in a generalized way. We should go drill down into that particular common code area and how I can address. So just like we need to explain these things in interview and ask interviewer, do you feel any other common code? Now I explain these factors. In your application, any other common code, and where we can, how can we face in microservices area, so that we can take on a point wise, not instead of generalized wise. Okay, is it correct? And is it clear?
Sir, when you say this XML, PDF, or JSON, these you mean the response of the microservice, or you mean those
Just like
logging
I told example,
right? It's not the logging stuff, right?
No. Logging is different, right? Logging
Right.
is what actually? Logging is what we'll take a dependency log4j or SL4j or some other dependency, and we'll write a logging. There is no special code we will write in logging, first of all. Okay.
That is also
Just
common,
a
right?
PDF.
Common.
Sir, common, but any code we will write in log?
No, just
Any code we will write?
application log. No.
No, nothing. We'll take a log4j dependency.
Right.
Logger factory will initialize. Logger factory will initialize. And logger.warn, logger.info, logger.message, logger.debug, logger.find. All these levels are set in the logger factory itself. Just like in our microservice, we'll use the logger and the message is related to that microservice only. Logger is, just like it's a dependency. Pom.xml dependency, that's it. Okay. No. On the other question you asked, right? Exporting to JSON and all those things. Just like I mentioned, sir. Okay.
Right.
I have some content. Where the content I can export into PDF. Maybe I'll take forget about. Instead of generalized way, I'll take. Okay. Savings account microservice. I want to export the transactions into PDF file. I want to download my account statement. The feature is I want to download my account statement. Okay.
Right.
The downloading part is PDF or a spreadsheet, Excel. Correct, right?
Yeah.
Or it can be a JSON, something like that. There are three formats are there. Now this is available in, I want this feature in savings account, current account, joint account, home loan, personal loan, mortgage loan, gold loan, right? I need this feature in all these services, right?
Right.
The common code is, do I need to write the common code in every microservice? No. I have some stream of binary data, bytes, stream of bytes. There's an input. I'll create a microservice which will take some kind of a binary data, and I will take input PDF service as one microservice, spreadsheet as another microservice, JSON as another microservice. I'll have the code in that particular microservice only, guys. Okay, but I'll call that microservice here, so that code will be in a common place only, right? That is a point here I am referring in a common code point of view.
Sir, how do we, maybe you will cover this one later on, how do we call, because for example in Docker world, right, we have all these different pods, every microservice on separate pods, right, like 10 pods for statements, 10 pods for account, 10 pods for some other microservice, right? So end of the day, it is like monolithic application only, right, like legacy application, right? When we call between these microservices, how does it differ from that?
No, right? Generally, we will not take 10 services into one container. Every Docker container is a one separate
Right.
service here. Every
Separate
Docker
service, right.
container, separate service. Okay.
Yeah, I mean to
And
say
we want
more pods, 10 pods, sir. I mean to say 10 pods for statement, 5 pods for account, 5 pods for, let's say, some other microservice, right?
their load balancing, right? You're talking about 10 parts
Right.
per statement. It's a one service
Yeah.
only.
Right.
Sir, it's a one service, but we are balancing the load on 10 units.
Yes.
Okay. So that is not monolithic application, right? Only that service only. What is a monolithic application? Our entire code is available in one unit.
Right.
Here, my code is not entire code, only that statement service, whatever you are telling, that service only. That is what I told, right? Decomposing the application by sub capability. The advantage of mono microservices, we can scale it individual service level, not at business level. It's advantage.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So my question is how easy to communicate between those services, sir? I don't know about that point. Maybe you'll cover that one later on.
By default, sir, you need to have a Docker idea, DevOps concept, that is. Okay.
Okay.
It is services to communication. Docker is having Kubernetes or Docker Compose. Okay. There are some Docker terminology where we can communicate between the services. Okay.
Okay.
Assuming that if Docker is not there, in a Spring Boot, we have a REST template, Fine client. Okay, Fin client. Someone will call Fine or some Fin client. There are some other approaches are there. So in design point of view, sir, we should not think on what tools we will use. What is our idea here? How to achieve? How to achieve is lot of availability tools are available here. But we need to come to a conclusion, which container, which functionality, which container, which functionality. That is what the point we should think on a design point of view. Okay. So here in, just like I mentioned here in Docker world, yes, we'll use Docker Compose, Docker Kubernetes, where we can containerization, we can call one container to other container easily. We don't need to write any code here. Okay. If at all Docker is not there, we will use a REST template or we'll use a Fin client so that we can easily communicate on the services. That's it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Vijay, I have one doubt. Actually, we used to only REST template pin client only. I have like how see every for example you told ATM is one service and payment is one service. In the Docker Compose, how both are interacting with each other without we are using intercommunication like REST template, pin client, web client. How they will communicate in Docker Compose? We have to configure.
Yeah, it's completely outside of context, sir. But anyhow, yeah, as you asked actually, right? By default, they create a Docker orchestration. Like if you are taking Kubernetes, Docker, this one, we have Kubernetes and one second.
Okay,
we have one more I forgot. Okay, so they build that architecture in such a way that they can easily communicate. For example, REST template, what is it you will use? REST template dot exchange of URL I will write. Correct,
yes,
right? Correct, right? In the Docker world also some URL will be there, and you are going to use that URL and you will write the Docker container address in the Compose, Docker Compose file. In a Compose section, we have actually in the Compose section, service 1 address, service 2 address, service 3 address. And the Kubernetes engine will take care of communicating these services, and we no need to write any code there actually. Typically, we no need to write any code. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, correct. But as my experience, we used to like intercommunication using REST template only till now. REST template and
Sir, REST template is the only option. Okay. REST template is only option, sir. It's a lightweight. Okay. Typically lightweight and easy to use. Performance is better. Also, the microservices principles are achieved. That's the most 90 to 95% of the people you'll use this one only. Okay. Yep. Okay. We should not, I mean, some guys, sometimes if we deviate the topic, right? Are you enjoying the sessions, right? If one person is asking question, maybe my intention was just I'll give idea about that rather than ignoring. And don't, I mean, everyone is okay with that, right, guys? Because it's a point here. Whenever I'm taking one point in design discussion, on implementation, you will get a question. On implementation, also different ideas will be there. You will get a question, right? So if it is really required, I'll go deep dive. If it is on implementation point of view, if it is outside of context, I'll give some hint. I'll give some hints. Then you can, okay? Everyone is okay with that kind of methodology, right, guys? I'm not going to waste the time on something like that. Okay. And one more point, guys. Doubt session, can we keep in the beginning of the class or at the end of the class? I hope it's not a valid point here, right? Especially this is a design pattern and the doubt session will be there while I'm teaching itself. Then only you will understand. Only at the beginning of the topic, at the end of the topic, it's not feasible. Okay, correct, right, guys? Especially in design patterns, whenever I'm explaining, you can brainstorm on that point. Then only you will get a good knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone
Correct.
is happy, guys. Everyone
Yeah.
is happy on these kinds. Everyone, not only specific participant, guys, is everyone is comfortable on this the way doubts are going on, the class is going on. Just like I want your suggestions, because this is a separate topic altogether where we are all are experienced, guys. Just we are exchanging the ideas based on a particular point here. Okay, please let me know, guys. Any other sir, you are wasting the class with the only doubts, something like that? Anyone is having something like that impression? Anyone? Okay, then we'll go into the next point here, guys.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, decomposition pattern, I think it's a compulsory when we are designing the microservice. We have a one requirement like e-commerce. So first we need to identify what is the component like order and delivery and all the things. So decomposition pattern is a compulsory when we design the microservice. Right?
Perfect. Correct. Exactly. Because if we don't apply decomposition, we cannot get a how many microservices you are going to design, right?
Yes.
We need a microservices, right? When we design an application, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I hope this question is the same or any other things. I mean, just like decomposition pattern is mandatory when we design the application for microservices point of view. Okay. Right. Next one is we are going to see the strangler pattern. So what exactly the strangler pattern? What exactly the strangler pattern is? Typically, strangler pattern is mainly useful okay, one second, guys.
Sir, I was just thinking about the previous slide. So, usually the business people, they have more say on the project, right? They say everything as per business. So these days, hardware is also very cheaper, right? With all these Dockers and everything. And software is always the least priority for the business people. They say, you have to do like this.
Docker is a hardware? Docker is not hardware, right? Docker is also part of software. Yeah, infra is hardware, but I mean, my terms of hardware is ATM machines, card readers, other electronic equipment. I got your question. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It is implementation. I'm talking about implementation.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. got it.
Infrastructure, yeah, I got it. Based on the question, I got it. Okay, based on the infrastructure is a part of software only. Okay, I'm talking about hardware is different. Okay, right.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now, strangler pattern.
Sir, there is no code for the decomposition coding.
Sir, in decomposition, there is no coding, sir. Just like it is all the people will join in a session like Scrum or brainstorming session, and they will come up with the list. Just like in the last 2 classes, we did some exercise, right? We took a banking example, and one of our friend took e-commerce example, and we will do a brainstorming and we'll filter and we'll come up with a list. So this is a kind of business aspect, does not involve any coding here. Okay, it's only the concept of how can we come up with a list to a microservices list. Okay, yeah. Now there is a strangler pattern, guys. So strangler pattern is a design pattern used to refactor existing monolithic into microservice. Strangler pattern is a design pattern which is used to refactor the existing monolith into microservice. For example, sir, I don't have any monolith. I'm starting from the scratch. A new product, I'm starting from the scratch, that is using microservices itself. I don't have any existing product. Then strangler pattern we no need to use. Okay, the strangler pattern is mainly used to how can we move my monolith application into microservices application. What are the best ways? Currently, I am in monolithic application. Slowly, I want to move to microservices. So that's the main point. Strangler pattern will be useful. Okay, just like I remind you guys, if I am starting a new product, if I'm taking a new product and it does not have any current application, we don't have anything, we are starting from the scratch, then you no need to apply strangler pattern. Understand here? Yeah. So it helps. How we are going to achieve here? It's a gradual and continuous process where step-by-step approach, we will take. It's a gradual and continuous process where step-by-step approach will take. And we will ensure no business loss during this migration. We'll ensure no business loss during this particular migration. Okay. What do you mean by no business loss during this migration? Every functionality, in monolith, okay, we will slowly move into microservices with different approaches, and with different approaches, having backup plan, so that no revenue loss in the business. No revenue loss in the business. I'll repeat this, guys. This is a statement I'm going to repeat here. Every functionality in monolith will slowly move into microservices. Entire monolith will not move. We will not move entire monolith into one attempt. One by one we'll take it. There are a lot of approaches in taking up. Okay. But making sure that we should have a backup plan. What is the backup plan and all those things is finally, what is the meaning here? You slowly move. Okay. I don't want any business loss in that kind of moment. I don't want any business loss. For example, my bank, maybe my banking domain is there already, or Amazon e-commerce framework is there already. I'm getting at least 1 crore revenue per day. At least 1 crore revenue per day I am getting today. Okay. Now, my idea is I want to move this entire things into microservices architecture. I want to move this entire things into microservice architecture. Sir, I will stop for 2 months my business. You do experiments 2 months or 1 month. Does any customer will allow like this? No, right? It's a revenue loss. If you stop for 1 minute, it's a revenue loss. But at the same time, we need to convert that application into microservices. How will you do here? That is Strangler principles, a design pattern of Strangler, where we are going to use the principles of Strangler principles and will make sure slowly we'll migrate step by step, one by one, with a proper backup plan. I'll explain this backup plan, all those things. Okay. So where our both applications, legacy application will be up, microservices will be up, and will keep some time. And once everything is over, then we'll shut down the monolith. So recent example, guys, I'll take one of the recent best example. Okay. Income tax returns. Everyone is aware, right? As software employees, our biggest concern, ITR, right? Yes or no, guys? In software world, the pain point for every software employee is the paycheck of February and March, right? Income tax returns is a website. Okay. They observed that the software is not, it's not designed properly in the olden days. I mean, at that time requirement, they designed it, but slowly they changed the ITR returns. Everyone is aware, right, guys? The top company designed this, Infosys. They took this project. Sir, aware or not aware? Okay. What they have done here, they gradually take one by one, sir. They took one by one. What is the first point here in ITR? You need to register into income tax website. Registration, they have started. After that, filling the different forms. There are different forms are there. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, like that. Every form they gradually migrated. Okay. New slab, old slab, and different business principles. So gradually they are migrating. And at one point of time, okay, there is a problem in the design. There is a problem in the design. For business customers, for software employees, we are good. For business customers, they missed a lot of features during the journey. Okay. And they feel that the microservice architecture new software is not applying for business people. Immediately, they enable the old monolith. Immediately, they enabled the old system. We will use for 15 days. Please use no business laws. 15 days, they use the old system. And they slowly came up with new system. This is achieved by using Strangler. Okay. So by default, sir, what I'm trying to say here is, okay, when we are migrating from old system into new system, we are going to do that gradually one by one. And also at each and every stage, we should have a backup plan. And once we feel that everything is comfortable, then we'll slowly stop the old unit. Or if we have any issues, we enable the old unit and we see the problem in the new unit, and we make sure that new unit is meeting all the requirements. This process is, some products will take months, some products will take years. Depends on the business, depends on the revenue, depends on the customer base. Idea is Strangler pattern is a step-by-step approach. Strangler pattern is a step-by-step approach where we are going to move our entire existing monolithic application into microservices architecture. Okay. So we are going to discuss the process, the design principles on this particular pattern. Okay. So the idea is what? What is the idea? We will take one by one service and slowly we will move into microservice with two things at a shot. I should have a monolith in place. I should have a microservice also in place. But first I'll keep microservice in production. As long as I see any problem, definitely I'll stop the old system. I'll enable the new system. I'll stop the old system. I'll enable the new system. And I'll correct the problem. Then I will. So this is the continuous process of enabling old, disabling new, disabling old, enabling new. So this kind of plug and play, making sure that my business is smooth without any loss. So this process is Strangler design pattern. Okay. Everyone got a high level idea, guys? What exactly a Strangler design pattern? A high level idea. Everyone got it right? The first two principles are how to divide an application into microservices. Now you got idea. I have an application. How to come up with microservices? You got an idea. Now in your existing monolithic application, how we can use these principles, how you can implement them, how you can make them approach to the market, approach to the how will you keep in the production. So that is a Strangler design pattern, which I'll go through that. The principles and things I'll go through that. But at a high level idea is, we are going to convert the existing monolithic into microservices and will apply business principles and will make both the systems are active. Okay. And if any problem comes, we will enable the old one and we'll correct the problem into new one. At any point of time, no business loss with the software changes. That is what we are proposing to customer. So this pattern is a typical Strangler design pattern. Everyone got high level idea, guys? What is Strangler design pattern?
Sir, how this is different from previous one, sir?
Okay. Previous one is what, sir? I have an application. Right. Now I want to come up with a list.
Right.
I have an application. I'm coming with a list. Now, example, I have a HDFC bank, which is in monolithic architecture. Now I want to convert into microservice architecture. First two principles, you come with the list. Account service is one microservice, right? Loan service, home loan service is another microservice. Personal loan service is another microservice. Like that, you'll come up with 20 to 25 services. The list of microservices in your application, you will get with the first two patterns. Now you got the list. Now you will write the code. For these 25 microservices, you will write the code. Writing a code is a different, right? But in production, I am going to apply. For example, it's a new product. I'm launching newly. You don't have any problem. Directly you can launch new. But nowadays, all these products are, we are already having a monolith, correct? And our business is running. Now I want to keep the new microservice in place of old monolith. How you'll achieve? That is a point Strangler will talk. Got it?
I have one question, Vijay sir.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Monolithic, like you told, HDFC Bank is monolithic. First design pattern, we decomposed like account, payments, and like loan. You are telling first one is over. Second one, first one is working fine. Second one, I developed all in microservices. Once I will deployed my second one. Second one means it is the combination of microservices, not monolithic.
Okay.
But you told here step by step you told.
I'll explain that. I have not done that actually. What do you mean by step by step means? I'll explain that. Okay. It will take 10 to 20 minutes of time. What is the meaning? Just like I gave an overall idea on what is Strangler. What is the difference between business capability subdomain to Strangler? But what exactly step by step, what we are going to do, I'll explain that. I'm going to start that. Okay. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So in the portal, I will upload the PPT because a zip file only I need to upload. Apart from there is no option, sir. And you need to download it. I need to unzip it. Okay. Extra effort you need to do that, sir. Previously, Google Classroom we should have, guys. It's a very good. Google Classroom is a very, very good. But it is I mean, they want in one portal, everything should be available here, view notes and everything. So in that portal, we don't have an option to export directly PPT. We need to zip the PPT and I'll export it. You can download it and you can unzip it. Okay. That's the only way. But these things I'll apply indirectly here. Okay. Fine. Yeah, sir, there is no class for tomorrow, sir. Sunday, I have a workshop on a Spring Boot batch, a batch processing. I have a workshop. Okay.
What time?
9:30 a.m. IST. 9:30 a.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. Okay. If you feel you are good, you can join. Okay.
And what about that the previous class ILK video and materials? What about this one?
Sir, by default, I told, right, I'm going to arrange in the same whatever the portal you have, right? I'm going to arrange in them. That's what I told. I told it will going to take some time. You will get it actually. In the same portal, you will see here. Something like how I'm seeing right here. You're able to see that, right? This is my dashboard where you can see and you can get that actually. Okay. Understand, sir?
So how to get the login link for the Spring Boot?
What is that, sir?
How to get the login link for the Spring Boot, sir? Where I can get that link to join on Sunday?
Sunday link. Okay, you I think in the Ashok IT web portal, or else there is a in any of the WhatsApp community you have Naresh IT, right? Sorry, Ashok IT you have a community, right?
Right.
You can ask them and they will get it actually.
Okay,
Or
sir.
else I'll
WhatsApp.
provide actually. I'll provide
Yeah.
maybe. I have an I have actually, but I need to see. I think they have not added here. Maybe
Sir, how to go to this page?
you have a portal access, right?
Yes,
How you
sir.
are joining the class?
Yeah, I have to go. I used to log in
Correct.
Ashok IT.
Same way. You cannot like this is only a teacher. You'll get it actually, but for you different. But the same in this dashboard only you will see actually. Whatever the dashboard you are logging, right? The same dashboard you can see other the slides and everything. Okay. Yeah. So just like I need to see where is the I missed that link also. I'll post in our this one microservices design patterns community is there, right, sir?
Okay, sir. Okay.
I'll
Definitely.
post in that actually. I'll post in that. Okay. Even
Okay,
if you
sir.
miss
Thank you, sir.
also, I can provide a recording session. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for we'll meet on Monday, guys. Okay. And the participant who joined lately, it's a good time for you people. Please go through all the recording videos and come up with any questions you have so that all will be in one stage. Okay. Thanks everyone. Have a great day ahead. Thank you all.
Sir, any good books on this topic, sir?
Sir, no need of books, sir. Even you have
Okay.
books, no use, sir. No use.
Right.
Only listen to my classes and
Okay,
ask
sir.
the
Okay.
questions
Right. Right.
and keep that in mind. That's it. That's it. Don't require. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.